Okay, so today we're looking at multiplying fractions on the topic 9.08. Multiplying fractions is your title and your LO is in the green box. Here's your retrieval task. If you can take 10 minutes now to work through this, and then once you've done that, stick it into your books. Okay, here are the answers. So make sure you're using your green pen to correct your answers. Make sure you're ticking any ones that you've got right. Are there any areas where you're doing particularly well, like multiplying decimals maybe? Is there anywhere that you're particularly not doing so great? And you can use this to go and target that weakness on Heggie Maths. Here's our success criteria for the lesson. So again, we need to look at being able to convert mixed numbers into improper fractions, same as last lesson. We need to look at cross-simplification to make our multiplications easier. Then we just multiply all the numerators together and multiply all the denominators together and then simplify. So let's have a look at our first one. So can we copy the I do? So again, we turn our mixed numbers into improper fractions. So 3 whole ones is, the first cake has 5/5, then the second cake has 10/5, and the third cake has 15/5. So then we add the 3/5 as well, so we get 18/5. So now the cross multiplication comes in. So we notice that a number on our top, 18, and a number on our bottom, 24, are both in the 6 times tables. So if we make sure we divide something on the top by 6 and something on the bottom by 6, then our answer will stay the same because it's balanced. What we've applied to the top, we've applied to the bottom. So our 18 divided by 6 becomes 3. So our 18 divided by 6 becomes 3. Our 24 divided by 6 becomes 4. So now all we have to do is we have to multiply our numerators together. So 3 times by 7 gives us 21. And 5 times by 4 gives us 20. So then we simplify that and make a mixed number, so we get 1 whole 1 and 1 over 20. Can you pause the video now and give the we do a go? Okay, so again we turned them from mixed numbers into improper fractions. We then noticed that the 18 and our 27 are both in the 9 times tables. So if we do 18 divided by 9, we get 2. 27 divided by 9, we get 3. Then all we have to do is times our numerators together. So 2 times by 7, which gives us 14. And 5 times by 3, which gives us 15. So there we go. Can't be simplified any further. So now let's look at these examples. Again, we're just testing your skills at cross simplification here and multiplying. So we turn them all improper, or the ones that need to be turned improper. So then we've noticed that our 18 and our 27, because we've got one on the top and one on the bottom, we can divide both of them by 9, as the arrows show you. Our 18 becomes 2 and our 27 becomes 3. We then also notice that our 7 and our 14, because we have one on the top and one on the bottom, we divide the 7 by 7, it becomes 1. Divide the 14 by 7, it becomes 2. So then all we have to do is multiply the numerators together, and we get 2. And multiply the denominators together, and we get 30. So we can simplify that by dividing the top and bottom by 2. You can pause the video and give the we do a go for me. Okay, so here we go. So again, we have 18 on the top and 27, which are both in the 9 times tables. So we can divide both of them by 9. Our 14 and 14 are both in the 14 times tables, so they can both be divided by 14. So then we times the numerators together to get 2, and the denominators together to get 15. Make sure you've copied that down. So now, here again, we're just even further practicing that skill. So we know that our 15 and 5 are both divisible by 5. Our 18 and 27 are both divisible by 9, and our 14 and 14 are both divisible by 14. So because we're dividing something on the top and the bottom by 14, something on the top and the bottom by 9, and something on the top and the bottom by 5, we're maintaining the answer. So if we times the numerators together, we get 6. Times the denominators together, we get 3. So 6 divided by 3 gives us 2. You can pause the video now and give the redo a go. Here we go again, just practicing spotting those patterns. So our 15 and our 5 both divisible by 5. Our 18 and 27 are both divisible by 9. And our 7 and our 14 both divisible by 7. So if we divide all those, cross simplify, then all we have to do is times our numerators together to get 6, times our denominators together to get 6. So our answer is 1. You can copy that down. Another example here, if we can copy the I do. So again, pattern spotting, so we have 18 and 9, both divisible by 9. We have 28 and 28, which are both divisible by 28. So, once we've cross-simplified, we times the numerators together to get 2. We times the denominators together to get 1. So, our answer is just 2 over 1, which is equal to 2. You can pause the video now and give the redo a go. Here we are. So, we first of all turned our fractions all improper. Found where we can cross-simplify. Our 3 on the numerator and our 9 in the denom. And our 28 and our 28. So once we times the numbers on top together, we get 1. If we times the number on the bottom together, we get 3. So we get 1/3. Make sure you've copied that down. Here's some examples for you to work through. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to work through these. And here are your answers. Make sure you're marking them. Make sure you're correcting any ones that you have got wrong. And now here's some trickier ones. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to work through these. And here are your answers. Bit of a pattern there, isn't there? Okay, now we're going to look at figuring out the fractions of an amount. So, to figure out the fraction of an amount, we perform a multiplication. Just like if someone said, what is a half of 100? We do 100 times by a half. So, for 6/7, we just have to, first of all, turn our 35 into a fraction. So, if we have 35 cakes, if they're cut into one piece, to the left as they are, we have 35 over 1. So there's a fraction that works. So now we look at our cross simplification again, and we know that the 7 on the bottom and the 35 on the top are both in the 7 times tables. So if we divide them both by 7, we get a simplified multiplication. And we just have to multiply the top together and multiply the bottom together. So on the top we get 30, on the bottom we get 1. So we just get 30. Now if you can pause the video and try the redo. Okay, so now what's 5/7 of 35? Again, 35 turned into a fraction would be 35 over 1. Because 35 divided by 1 leaves us with 35. We then have to find out what our cross multiplication is, what our cross simplification is, sorry. And we know that both of these are in the 7 times tables. We divide them both by 7, and then we can multiply the top numbers, the numerators. 5 times 5, we get 25. 1 times 1, we get 1. So So our answer is 25. Make sure you copied that down. Now let's have a look. So now we have an improper fraction. If you notice this time, our numerator is larger than our denominator. So let's have a look at calculating it. So our 35 becomes 35 over 1. We notice that we can cross simplify. So 35 and 5 can both be divided by 5. And then all we have to do is multiply our numerators. So we get 7 times 7, which is 49. 1 times 1 gives us 1, so our answer is 49. So as you notice, because our fraction is larger than 1, our answer, 7/5 of 35, is larger than 35. It's grown, whereas in our last examples, the number was smaller because our fraction was less than 1. And that will link to our work on percentages later on. So if you can pause the video now and try and complete the we do. So here we go. Again, cross simplification. You know, like 35 and 7, because we have one number on the top and one on the bottom. We can divide them both by 7. 35 becomes 5. And our 7 becomes 1. So we times our numerators together, 45, times our denominators together, we just get 1. And again, our fraction is bigger than 1. And our answer has become greater than 35. Make sure you get that down. So now we definitely know the numbers are larger than 1 because they're giving it us as a mixed number. So do we predict that our answers are going to be bigger than 35 or smaller? Let's have a look. So we turned it from from mixed to improper, and then we perform our multiplication. Cross simplify where possible. So both of these are divisible by 5. So that becomes 1. 35 becomes 7. We then times the numerators and we times the denominators. So you can pause the video now and give the we do a go. And here we go. Turn our fraction improper and then cross simplify. So both of these are divisible by 7. So now we've simplified, we times the numerators together. 11 times 55 gives us 55, and 1 times 1 gives us 1. Make sure you copy that down. So now the problems are getting a little bit more worded, I guess you'd say. So we have 4/5 of 12. So 4/5, here we go, of 12. 12's turned into a fraction, 12 over 1. So there's nothing to simplify here. So we just times our numerators together, we get 48. Times our denominators together, we get 5. So we get 48 over 5. So that's 9 whole ones. And then we have 3/5 left. Make sure you've copied that down. And then if we can pause the video and you can give the we do a go. So now we've got 4/5 expressed as a fraction of 21. So 21 over 1. And we need to multiply these two together. So again, we multiply the numerators together, we get 84. Multiply the denominators together, we get 5. So then whole ones, we have 16 whole ones, because that would account for 80/5. And then we have 4 left, because we had 84 here. So 16 and 4/5. Make sure you copy that down. So here, I want you to take 5 minutes to work through these examples. And here are your answers. Make sure to simplify. And here's another 5 minutes to work through these. Here are your answers.